Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of my cancer story. I can't get this lighting right. Today is going to be about recovery, but I wanted to also add in there recovery, amputation pics, and a prosthetic finger. So I want to talk a little bit about the recovery, a little bit about the prosthetic finger, and also show you pics in between. I guess I don't remember a lot of the recovery, and I think it was because I was partially medicated. It was kind of traumatic, and I don't think about it that much. I don't think about the recovery part. I think the recovery part was kind of hard. I think all of it was hard for me, but I think the recovery part was hard too, because it was my attempt to get my life back to normal, and life is never going to be normal for me again. Life is good. Life is beautiful. Life is wonderful. I am not complaining. It's just never going to be the same. And I haven't really sat down to think about how I've changed or how life has changed for me. And I think that's something that I need to talk to family and friends about. Like, what was I like, or how am I different now after this experience? So let's talk about the recovery first. The recovery was running back to the doctor to have them rewrap my finger and also to remove stitches. Now, I have some pictures. They're a little graphic, so I just want to warn you in advance. They're not terrible, but they might just be like, ugh, that was nasty. That kind of graphic. So I do remember going back with my daughter to the hand surgeon, and I remember that they had to soak my finger because of all the discharge from the finger, from the surgery. They had put like a yellow, I don't know, square over the finger and then wrapped it with gauze. And even that had gotten stuck to my finger. And they, the whole process is painful. So let's just say that up front. But I had to soak my finger in like hydrogen peroxide. So let me show you that picture right now. After I soak my finger in hydrogen peroxide, of course, they look at your finger, they rewrap it, and then at some point they say, we're going to take the stitches out. And I was not looking forward to them taking the stitches out of my finger. I knew it was going to hurt, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. It went quickly. The technician that did it was like very sensitive. Well, at first he wasn't. But part of the hard part, I think, was when the stitch had like a little knot on it, and they had to pull it up and then clip it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I had the experience of going to the physical therapist after that. After all the stitches are out and your doctor clears you, then I was referred to a physical therapist. Well, they asked me, do you want to do physical therapy here at Cedars, or do you want to go to a private one? And so I said, let's try a private one. I just wanted to do something different. There was one right across the street called Hollywood Hands, and I'll put their information in the description below. The only problem with them is that they were not in network, so I had to pay a little extra, I think. I don't even remember. But it was a good experience. There was nothing bad about it. It was where you walk in, everybody's in a great mood, great customer service, happy, good. You're in there with about, I'd say 8 other people. It's kind of like a semicircle table, and every patient or client has a physical therapist on the other side. And if you want more information about what kind of physical therapy they gave me, I can definitely give it to you. But one of the things they did when I walked in was put my hand in the paraffin. I think that was like common practice to kind of relax your hand and kind of relax you and get you ready for all the pain that you're getting ready to endure, because my finger could not bend. It had been wrapped for so long that your ligaments and your muscles are very stiff, and I just couldn't move it. But they were able to massage it and give me exercises to help me move my finger. And trying to think. Oh, I do have one picture of one of the exercises that I did where there's an elastic band that goes around to help bend that finger, and I'll show that to you now. I also want to show you my actual finger. So I don't remember if I showed it to you or not, but here's my hand and here's my finger. So this is the finger that was, of course, partially amputated. And you can see that I was pleased that they only had to amputate at the first knuckle. So I still have, if you can divide your finger into 3 parts, I still have 2/3 of a finger left. And this is what it looks like. All of that crusty, yucky part. See, the light is taking away from the details of the finger, but you can kind of see it. It looks pretty good. I mean, every time I go to the hand surgeon, he goes, gosh, I did good work. It looks great. And it does. It looks good. It's pretty smooth. I'm getting a little bit of a callus, and that's because of the prosthetic and me working. So after I went through all the physical therapy and everything, I decided that I wanted a prosthetic finger. And I remember my hand surgeon kind of discouraging me. He was like, well, most people don't want one. Actually, most people in his office that end up coming in that have lost a finger, most of them are guys, men who have lost it in industry working. But I know I'm a grown woman, but I told him I'm a girl. And we want to look pretty. When we get ready to go out, or there's a night, an event that you're going to, or a date you're going out on, or, you know, maybe you're having company over, maybe you're having a little party, whatever. You want to look pretty. You want your nails done, your feet done, your hands done. You want your makeup on, your hair done. I mean, it's a big deal for us. A new outfit. We do that. That's what we do. That's what girls do. And I want my hands to look nice too. So I actually went and got a prosthetic. You guys have to help me. I don't know. I got a prosthetic finger, a fake finger. So, you know, I got my prosthetic finger, all 10 fingers. So let me try to, this is the finger with the prosthesis or prosthetic finger on, and of course without. And I feel better when I'm going out when I have the prosthetic finger on, especially if I'm going to a new place, or if I'm going to be around people that I really don't know, and I don't want the conversation to turn to what happened to your finger. Most people, the first thing they think is, she's heavy, she's African American. I know, she has diabetes. And a lot of people talk to me like I have diabetes. I don't have diabetes. That's not what happened to my finger. So they're always surprised when I tell them, no, it was cancer. And then I've never heard of that. And I show them pictures, and it turns into a whole thing. And sometimes I don't want to talk about it. I just want to enjoy my evening. I just want to enjoy the day. I don't want to think about it. I just want to talk about you. What's going on with you? You have kids? You're married? What do you like to do? Do you like going bike riding? You hike? Tell me something about you. I don't always want to talk about that finger. So for me, it was worth going to. I'll put the information in the description below. You can talk to your insurance company. My insurance didn't cover it 100%. It was out of network for me, so they covered it, I think 70%. I had to pay upfront, and then the other 70%, not quite 70%, but kind of, maybe like 65%, was returned to me. It was great getting that money back. I didn't think I was going to get anything back. It was always a question whether I was going to get reimbursed or not. The thing that happened in my recovery that I don't like to talk about is that the surgeon also, the oncologist, my cancer doctor, also saw some spots on my feet that he thought were cancerous. So he wanted to go in and do biopsies on them. So first he started off cutting me in his office. He was like, "Don't worry, we're going to give you something to deaden your feet. Don't worry." He gave me a little shot. It wasn't pleasant. You guys, feet and hands are so sensitive. I'm not saying other parts of your body aren't, but they're so sensitive. I had no idea how many nerves are located in your feet and your hands. I almost jumped off that table. But anyway, so he gave me the shots, and he's digging in my feet with this scalpel, and I couldn't take it. After a while, I told him, "You're going to have to stop. I can't take it. You're going to have to either give me more medicine or put me out completely." It was too painful. So he says, "Well, I guess we're going to have to go to surgery." You think? You think if you're going to take a scalpel and start cutting meat out of my foot that you need to go into surgery? Yes, good choice. He went into surgery. He removed 3 portions of my feet, like little, I don't know, I'm sorry, portions of my foot, like little sections of my feet where he saw dark spots. I'm sure it was tiny portions. I'll show you pictures of what it looked like when he got through. It looks pretty big, but imagine him trying to do that in the office. So take a peek at this picture. He removed the tissue. I went home and I returned to work, and I did everything he told me to, and my feet didn't heal. I returned to him. He told me to do XYZ. I did it. My feet still didn't heal. A month later, my feet were still not healed. For 6 to 8 weeks, my feet did not heal. I wore flat sandals and black socks and bandages on my feet for almost 2 months. It could have been a little longer. I decided to fire him, not work with him anymore, find a different oncologist. And in between, I also found, thank God for prayer and determination, I found a wound specialist, and he helped my feet to heal, only to find out he had to take me back to surgery before they could heal, because the first cancer specialist had left stitches in my feet. Not the dissolvable kind of stitches, but the kind of stitches that don't dissolve. And not 1, but 2. So that's why my feet weren't healing. And that's why I had such a terrible time with my feet. I'm still working. Still going every place I was going before as far as work. But when I got home, I was just miserable. I had to change my bandages all the time. It was just a terrible time. That was a terrible time. And I think that's why I don't think about it. I had to wear a boot on my foot. It was just a mess. But once that was over, then I think I could concentrate on life again, and I could get back in the swing of things. And life is good. I can't complain about life not being good, because life is good. One thing, like I said earlier, I'll never be the same. I'll never look at life the same. I never look at any day the same. I'm constantly changing, evolving, and it's a good thing. I'm not saying cancer is a good thing. I'm just saying how my life is now is a good thing, because I look at life differently. I don't take some things for granted, and I'm really looking forward to growing and learning and trying to be a better person every day. Ta-da! I think that's all I have to say about recovery. It was kind of hard to remember because, you know, I was medicated, and it was just a lot going on, doctor's appointments, going back to work, and all that fun stuff. But now that it's all over, I can't even remember half of it. I think I was trying so hard to get my life back to normal, and my life is just not going to ever get back to normal. Anyway, I think that's it. I want to say something like profound or great, and about how recovery is so wonderful. But for me, recovery was a blur because there were so many facets to it. I didn't even mention that they also left a couple of stitches in my finger, and they had to go back into my finger to get those out. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Is there anything else I can say? I do want to give you some resources. I want to give you some resources about the American Cancer Society. I received information also from, I guess it would be comparable to the American Cancer Society in Europe. I got some information from them. There is an amputee coalition, so if you know someone who is an amputee and would like some support, there is one of those online. I have tried to find groups in like support groups and stuff like that, but there's not a lot nearby. So, I'm just using YouTube as a way of spreading the word about subungual melanoma or melanoma of the finger bed, and also just to say if you see anybody with that black line or blackness on their toes or feet, it could be misdiagnosis fungus, and if it's not going away, I would definitely go to a dermatologist to make sure that it's not something more serious. All right, so next time, part 5 will be about the support of family and friends. We'll talk about friends that maybe can't handle the pressure, and not everybody's built for this kind of a thing. Maybe they're not the best support or the support you need. And also, I think I alluded to the loss of a relationship, and I'll talk a little bit about that and how that affected me, and also how that changed my life a little bit. I think that's it. All right, take care. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, excuse me. And thank you for your comments. It's been great reading them. Every little bit helps. And I'm just thankful for the YouTube community. Thank you guys. What's wrong with my mouth today? It's the same thing every day. Anyway, I'll see you in part 5 of my cancer story, the support of family and friends. Take care.